Welcome back. Another episode of Olson Speed Shop. We're going to talk a little bit about the Camaro, some progress we're making. Today, we got organized. We've got all our parts in for it now. Here you can see engine seals, engine ignition and fuel system, cooling. We've got brake parts here, master cylinder and a booster. And we've got a little bit done on the brakes today. So, as you can see, we've got the rear brakes all rebuilt. New wheel cylinders, both sides, all new hardware, new pads, ready to rock and roll. Drums need to go back on. But after that, we just need to bleed it and the rear will be done. We put all new brake lines on it and it's good to go. The front is where we're headed to next. Here's the parts that need to go for the brakes on the front. Try to use AC Delco wherever we can. And as you can see, they're still needing some work. Here's the original master cylinder. We've drained the back and flushed the lines so that everything will be clean and fresh. We've still got the front to do, but we're going to replace both the master cylinder and the booster. Engine is still about where we're at here. Getting ready to reseal everything. As you can see, we've been cleaning gaskets off, getting it ready to have new gaskets put on. So, progress, we're moving along. Hopefully on this 4th of July weekend, tomorrow, we'll have the brakes completely done. It'll be ready to go. Everything, we'll bench bleed the master, get that installed, redo the front brakes, and so it'll be back on its feet again, rolling and braking. This had no brake pedal when we got it. Didn't have any brakes at all. And so we're just, I don't mess around with brakes. Change all the rubber lines, flush out the metal ones, make sure that they're solid and not leaking. And so that's where we're at there. What I wanted to talk about tonight is a little bit of a story here. So, as you can see, the back end is pretty complete. We got the fuel tank in, all new rubber lines, everything is flushed out and cleaned. We have, I don't know if you guys remember from the first episode, let me see if I can find it. Here's a trunk full of parts. But anyway, the fuel cap, I may not be able to find it right off. The fuel cap on it, oh, here it is. Alright, this is the fuel cap that was on it. It was an old locking cap. It was not the original SS one, as you see there, but it was a locking gas cap. There's a story behind that, and that's what I thought I'd tell tonight. So, the original owner, who still owns this, bought this car back in 1968. Brand new from the dealer. If you look here, let me put down some stuff. Here, this is an original SS fuel cap from an SS Camaro. You see there's a lanyard that attaches through the filler neck so you don't drive off and leave your gas cap. Well, the owner worked at a police station, and the back of it was pretty much shared a parking lot, or was right by the parking lot of a 7-Eleven gas station back then. And I'm not sure what year this was. This was, I think, from what I can find out, this car was parked in 1980. So it was probably in the 70s. But someone came along and stole his gas cap. Stole the SS gas cap. And they took the time to even pull the lanyard off. And stole the lanyard and everything. So that's when he went out and bought the locking gas cap. We thought, for proper tribute to this car, that we'd find an original, and as you can see, it's not perfect. This is actually off a Camaro, 68 Camaro. We thought it would be a good tribute to find a gas cap for that. I got one of my best friends who's an eBay guru and can find pretty much anything on eBay. And he located this gas cap, and he's friends with the owner also. So he located this gas cap, brought it over to me, and we gave it its proper respect and put it back on, lanyard and everything. And so now we're back to the original gas cap. So that's a kind of a neat little deal for this. Definitely a lot better than the old locking gas cap, which we didn't have keys, by the way, and I used a screwdriver and it came right off. But most criminals wouldn't go through that much trouble to even find the screwdriver. Okay, so the rest of this week I've been doing some cleaning. So this is the intake manifold. If you remember this from before, it was a greasy mess. It was a lot of grease. So I got it cleaned up. This is original paint, and as you can tell, it's missing some paint. And the thermostat housing was pretty eaten up, but I got all the grease cleaned off it. We are going to leave this like this. We want to keep this Camaro as original as possible and as much original paint as we can. Talk to a lot of people, what their thoughts are on it, and it's everywhere. And some people think that you should paint everything. Other people say no, leave it the way it is. The owner, he didn't mind either way. He said, kind of left it up to me to decide on that. But here's my thoughts on it. And if you guys have different thoughts, leave a comment and let me know. But here's my thoughts. You get a Camaro. This will not be painted. It will be cleaned up. It will be buffed out. But the car as a whole will not be painted. And it's in good shape for the year. So you got an original paint car with the rarity of the original owner who bought it. So my thoughts are, if you're going to paint the engine up, make it look pretty, and you pop that hood, say at a car show, people are going to come by, and my first thought when I come by and I look and I see an original paint car, and I'm like, wow, that's original. And then I come around here, and I look under the hood, and it's like, whoa, it's all clean and pretty, and that's cool. That is cool. But my first thought is that motor's been changed. It's not the original motor. And I don't want that on this. This is the original motor. We're putting the air pump back on it. This thing is going to be as original as it came in 1968. This thing will be as you drove it away in 1968. And that's the goal. And yes, it's not going to be original 1968 beautiful brand new paint, but it's going to be it's going to be a how old is that? 52 years old, 52-year-old car. But It's going to be like it was when it drove off the showroom floor as far as the way it drives and brakes and steers. And that's cool. I think that's cool. So, done a lot of cleaning this week. Got the manifold there. We've got valve covers. They're ready to install. They're cleaned up. Ready to go. As you can see, that's the way they are. And they'll be good to go. I did have to paint the battery box. Now this is the battery box, and you can tell that it was pretty heavily pitted, but I painted it with some really good primer. It's actually aircraft primer, and it's fluid resistant, oil resistant, chemical resistant, and I thought it'd be great for the battery box. But there's going to be a battery on top of this, so you're not going to see a lot of it. But I did sandblast and paint this. Here's the air cleaner, and that's the way we're going to run it. I put a little bit of polish on it. I'm not going to change the sticker even. I'm going to leave it. It is the 325 horse SS 396. Some people might think, why wouldn't you fix that? But I explained my reasoning. So we're ready to go. Yeah, there's the air pump. I'll clean it up a little bit. I'll clean this bracket up just to get any grease off it. And I think that's the way we're going to run it. This is the fuel line that goes from the mechanical fuel pump on the motor up to the quater jet. And it's ready to go too. So we've done a lot of cleaning this week. We're working on brakes this weekend, the 4th of July weekend. I hope everyone has a good 4th. We'll go out with a bang. Hopefully not. Hopefully we go out with brake stopping and no bang. The other thing I did get, I've got parts kind of all over here. But one thing that I do have is I got the radiator back. This radiator has been gone through. Like I said, the cooling system on this was the worst part of it. So I took this to a local radiator shop. They recored it, so it's all new cores, but they kept the original tanks. One of the brackets was broke off the side of it. It had come unsoldered, and so they resoldered it on, and it's good to go. And as you can see, it has all the original brackets, which these brackets for a numbers matching original car, that's worth its weight in gold there. You can buy them aftermarket repopped. They cost an arm and a leg, but those are the real deal. This bracket here was the one that had come unsoldered, and so the radiator shop soldered that back on. So the cooling system will be good. It'll be great for cruises as it cruises down the road. So hope everyone has a good 4th of July, and I'll do another video Sunday showing the progress of everything that we did tomorrow, this weekend. The brake should be buttoned up, so look for that. Look for a new master cylinder, power booster, brake drums on. I'll probably have it off the jack stands and sitting on its tires again, which will be good. And it won't be long. The other biggest job we got, other than putting together what we have apart now, is to remove the oil pan. I debated long and hard about pulling this motor out and putting it on an engine stand and resealing it, and I got a new timing set for it, all that. It would be way easier on the engine stand. Who knows? I probably should have done it. Probably should have just pulled the motor and put it on a stand, and it still might. I kind of want to get it running, make sure that everything's good. It turns over just fine. I've turned it over by hand. It turns over fine. I sprayed some stuff in the cylinders, sprayed down the cam with some oil, and I actually have a tool that I'm going to get to throw down the distributor hole and pump up the oil, get the oil pressure up through the lifters again before I start it. But I kind of want to get it running, driving, and so I can evaluate the transmission at that point. The transmission looks, the fluid looks beautiful. It really does. But you never know. It's sat 40 years. Automatic transmissions don't like to sit. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that everything will be good with this. The fluid looks great. The pan is quite greasy. This whole motor was really, really greasy. 1968 sills. That's all I can think. I've pulled many small blocks out that, yeah, they just get dirty when they're driven every day. And 1968 doesn't have sills like we have today. In fact, I've got a one-piece oil pan sill, which will, right here, this sill is so far superior to the one that's in there now. The one that's in there now is a 4-piece sill with these all separated. You can see this has metal impregnated into it, and it is just a far better sill than what's in there. And that is one reason why we are pulling the oil pan, the oil pan on this. Also to clean it up, of course, but we want to reseal this engine. Oil drips on my floor drive me nuts. This isn't going to be in my garage. It's not my car. But if it comes out of the shop, comes out of Olson's speed shop, we want it to be leak free. So I don't want it to be at his garage leaking oil on it. So I don't even want to have to throw a pan under it to catch it. So that's what we'll do. Once we get it up and driving, we may end up pulling the motor no matter what to change seals in the transmission, etc. But we'll see. So anyways, happy 4th of July. Be safe. Don't light any fires. Don't catch any viruses. And we'll see you guys in a couple days. I'll do another video Sunday.